Welcome everybody to the 20th ukulele warm-up of the series. Yes, it's a series which is going on and on. And we've got, as usual, lots of different things to enable you to warm up both you personally and your ukulele as well, ready for a whole day of practicing and playing, or going out and enjoying yourselves and doing something else. Good. So let's just do what we did last week, just wiggle our fingers, because they are our main sort of physical contact with the ukulele, and it's good to have nice loose fingers. So you can shake your hands, and it's okay to bend your fingers backwards. There, I'm bending mine backwards. Clearly don't do it too much if it starts to hurt, or if you've got any particular joint problems. I am insured, but I don't know if it includes over Zoom telling you to do something that injures you. So I'm just bending my fingers backwards just for a few seconds, just to just give them a bit of a stretch, really, the ligaments and tendons. Or you could just do them all at once just by pressing your fingers together. And they'll feel a little bit looser. And even stretching the arms up and getting the elbows straight. Sort of things you don't actually do very often in the morning, but I don't know how many people when they wake up in the morning do some exercises, but I started doing that at the beginning of lockdown, and somebody said, oh, you ought to watch those Joe Wicks videos, and I saw one and didn't fancy jumping up and down in front of this chap, so I thought, well, I'm going to do some ukulele warm-ups and guitar warm-ups instead, and they ended up being what you're now attending, so that's where that came. Thanks, Joe Wicks, for the idea. Okay, that's got us going on the warm-up. Tell you what, I'm just going to get my ukulele, and we should always make sure it's in tune. I'm just going to play the A string. Yeah, the one lowest to the ground. Just click yours, pluck yours, and just make sure it sounds the same pitch. Your ears will tell you. Just do a quick tune up if not. We did this once before. I'll just mention it again. How you can, once you've got that note in tune, how you can check the others without going through a tuner. And sometimes this is an appropriate way of doing it. It's also good just for understanding how a ukulele works. So we've got that A string. Imagine that's right. Well, hopefully it is right. Now, if you put your first finger on the 5th fret of the next string up, the E string, the 5th fret, doesn't matter which finger you use, it should be the same note. And if you play the two together, one after the other, or a little strum, so we're on the 5th fret of the E string and the open A string. They should be the same note. They're both the note A, in fact. Right, so if we now go to the C string and put your finger on the 4th fret, that should be the same as the open E string, the next one, the one next to it. So we're talking about the two middle strings now. So the 4th fret of the E string and the open E string, sorry, the 4th fret of the A string. Start again. The 4th fret of the C string. That one anyway, one that sounds like that. 4th fret of the C string and the open E string. That's right. Should sound the same. We're on the middle two strings. So it was the 5th fret of the E string and the open A. 4th fret of the C string and the open E. Now, slightly different on this last one. I did show you a different way before. I'm going to show you another one now. If you put your finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, now this is for people with traditional re-entrant ukuleles where you've got a high G string. 2nd fret is the same as the A string. So we're on the outer two strings now. 2nd fret of the G string should be the same as the top A string. Now these are all worth checking. Sometimes a tuner isn't the perfect way to do tuning because it's only tuning the open strings. But if you're playing a chord further up the ukulele, they're the strings that you want to make sure are right, or the fret positions. Now here's something you can try, and it does include a little bit of unpleasant bending. So I'm going to play all the A's. So let's see if you can do this. You need very long fingers. I'm going to put my first finger on the second fret of the G string. Okay. I'm going to put my little finger on the 9th fret. Now I'm not showing off, just stretching my fingers. Can you stretch to the 9th fret of the C string? Because that's also the same note. Yeah. You'll never have to do this in a performance, by the way. Now, all right, those two are the same. How about this? If you put the second finger on the 5th fret of the E string, you've got another A. So now all three strings are the same note. And finally, you've got the open A string. So all four notes are now playing an A. This is of no use whatsoever. Just a bit of fun. But it does kind of show you how a ukulele is tuned, that you can get the same note on all four strings. And it also stretches your fingers out nicely. Ooh. Okay, let's move on. We'll go on to the... let's play our C major scale that we did last time. I'm just going to get up on the screen the warm-up sheet. Okay, so yes, we're just warming up our minds as well as our fingers just by playing this C major scale. Like all musicians do, they practice their scales as part of their warm-ups. So, not going to spend too long on this because we've covered it in the last couple of sessions. So I'll just quickly talk through it, then we'll play it. So that's looking at your ukulele as you look over the top of it. So the lowest string on the screen, the one that's furthest down the page, is actually the G string. So we're not playing that. So going up to the C string, where the big black dot is, that's open. Then the fingers, the numbers refer to your fingers. So that's onto the 2nd fret, 2nd finger of the C string for the 2nd note. Then onto the open of the E string. You should be getting the same notes as me when you're plucking it. And then the 1st fret. And then the 3rd fret with the 3rd finger. I'm just plucking with my thumb on the right hand, but you can use any finger you like. Then the open A string, and then the final 2, 2 and 3, and the black dot 3 is your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. And if you just got that finger on there, you'll see you're playing a C chord. And that's how we're going to end our scale. So, okay, that's the scale. We'll just play it slowly. So after 4, starting with the big black dot, bottom left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. The technique to make sure the notes come out nicely is to pluck the string at the same time as the finger lands, but don't land the finger too early. So actually land the finger on the string when required, not before. So let the previous note ring as long as possible. So let's do that again, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. In this is ascending, so we're going up in pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go the other way. We're going to descend. So we're starting with the 3 in the black dot. We're going to go the other direction. So that'll be 3, 2, open, 3, 1, open, 2, black dot, open. Slowly though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. And even quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we're going to do. We're going to go back to the first one, starting on the big black dot, bottom left. Go all the way up to the black dot with the 3 in it, and then come all the way down again. So going up the hill and down again. When you get to the black dot 3, the last note, the highest pitch, don't repeat it, just come straight back down at the same speed. Yeah, it's a bit like you're just running up a hill and coming down the other side. So starting on the black dot, bottom left, the open C string, 1, 2, 3, 4. And down. Let's do that one more time, a bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. And down. There we go. That's the C major scale. There are other scales, obviously there's dozens of other scales, and we will one day look at one or two others. This is a scale that you can play all sorts of melodies from, and if you've seen The Sound of Music, the film, or the musical, you'll probably be able to realise that you can play the tune Do a Dear by picking out the notes. By starting on that first black dot to the second to the next open, you've got the first 3 notes of the tune. Then I just repeated the open strings. So if you wanted to spend a bit of time and idle half an hour on the couch with your ukulele, you could try working out how to play Do a Dear on using this scale. Just by picking out the notes. They're all in there. You can play the whole tune just by using the notes that are on the screen in front of you. And the interesting thing is that song was written, well, in context with the storyline, in order to teach the children how to sing and understand the intervals and the scales and so on. So that's why the film was called The Sound of Music, because it was about learning the sound of music, which is what we're all trying to do. So that's the C major scale. And that's got us a little bit warmed up. Let's warm ourselves up a little bit more with some picking. This is going to involve the right hand a little bit more. Now we did a finger picking pattern last time, which was just the 4 strings going across. G, C, E, A, if you remember, if you were here. And that involved using the thumb on the G string, the first finger, that's the index finger in ukulele parlance, on the C string, the second finger on the E string, and the third finger on the A string. And what we did last time, 2 weeks ago, was just kept repeating that 4-beat pattern and applying chords to the left hand. So the right hand, once it's got going with its picking pattern, it stays the same. It just carries on plucking that pattern. So we just extended it slightly. We added an extra couple of beats to this pattern, made it a 6-beat pattern. Now that means it suits other sorts of songs, different sorts of songs, because it's now got 6 beats in it rather than 4. And examples of this would be House of the Rising Sun, dung 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 dung. Hallelujah by Buckley, can't remember his name, I remember his dad's name, Tim Buckley. Is it Jeff Buckley? Jeff Buckley, yeah, Hallelujah, or Leonard Cohen. And also Everybody Hurts by R.E.M., that's another one. That particular song, if that helped you recognise it. So it's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feel. So the pattern is a bit like the last one, except as I say, it's got 2 more notes to apply to it, and that's the 2-1 at the end of the pattern that's on the screen in front of you. So if I was to play that as an open, I would be going, T means thumb, 1 means first finger, and so on. Yeah, and as you see, it's coming back down to the 1 on the 6th beat. You're ready to do it again. So get your, well, we won't apply a chord to it just yet. Just leave your strings open and get your thumb and 3 fingers, plant them on the strings. You can do this actually to get started. It's a good way of locating the strings. Just plonk your fingers on the strings, press them down slightly. So your thumb's on the G string, first finger on the C, second finger on the E. Yeah, that's called planting. That is actually a term. You've planted them on the strings, ready to pluck them. So we're going to very slowly just go through that pattern just once. Okay, after let's do it after 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you should have ended with your first finger on that 1 at the end there. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're looking for a nice smooth sound, equal volume on every string, evenly spaced, on the beat. This time we're going to loop it, so we're just going to keep doing that. As soon as you get to the end, hit the thumb again. Not hit the thumb, use the thumb to pluck the G string. So let's loop that. 1 after 3. 1, 2, 3. And again. So thumb 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Thumb 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. If it helps to say that, just to help coordinate your fingers, just call out what's happening. I can't hear you, so thumb 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And it's worth practicing this for a long time, just to get, because what you're trying to do is get the muscle memory into the right hand. I know that's not true science, but let's do that one more time. Yes, you're trying to develop muscle memory in the right hand so that it will play that pattern whilst, and I was talking at the same time, so that kind of means I have got that into my muscle memory, which means that you can then concentrate on changing the chords in the left hand. And so you need to practice that pattern without even playing any chords, just for as long as you can, as long as you can bear it, and that will become all part of your muscle memory. And as I say, you can then apply some chords to the left hand. So, oh, I've got a little device that, just while you can carry on practicing that for a second, I have a device down here which enables me to now you might not be able to see me, but I've just with my feet pressed a little button and it's now playing it on its own, so I can start doing something else. And because this is a 6/8 pattern, 4, 5, 6. I've just got a little foot pedal called a looper. Turned off that strumming. So if you were to play with somebody else and one person was doing that picking, the other person would need to strum something that fits in. So you could go, you can try this as well if you want. So I'm doing a little strumming pattern, just down, up, down, up, down, on A minor. Yeah, A minor will be right. So I'm just going A minor, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if that suited your song rhythmically, that's a typical sort of pattern you could play. And anyway, that's just to put it into a little bit of context. But so let's just apply that. Oh, by the way, if you're interested, I was using a thing called a looper, which is a little pedal, foot pedal, which you control with your feet, surprisingly enough. and it enables you to record and then play back anything that you play on the ukulele. You do need an electric ukulele with a cable coming out the back to plug it in, otherwise it doesn't really work with microphones and so on. But and that will record it and play it back, and then you can play something else on top of it, and like I just did, bit of strumming, and you can listen to yourself. And this is really important, listening to yourself and thinking, oh, that doesn't sound so good, or that's a little bit out of time or out of tune, I need to correct that. That's an excellent way of improving rapidly. Just to constantly play and it just goes off into the air, possibly into somebody else's ears, without any feedback, is okay, but it's a very slow way of learning. But if you were to listen to yourself, play something, listen to it, correct it, play it again, improve it, listen to it, correct it, your progress will improve, increase. And having a looper, a quick way of recording yourself, is a good way of doing that. Or recording yourself onto your phone and listening to it. There are lots of different ways of recording yourself, but that was just for that. As we were talking about that looper, made by a company called Boss, but there are other looper manufacturers out there. Right, we're going to apply that picking. Have you got that picking pattern? Yeah, and I'll take it off the screen. T12321. That's how I remember it. T12321. Right, we're going to apply it to the chords of House of the Rising Sun. Now, it might be a song you've played before. We're not going to do it quite as fast as bands tend to play it, because we want to practice this pattern. So we're just playing that pattern. So the right hand is just going to be doing that same. I haven't started the song yet, by the way. I'm just just playing one chord. Now we're going to do that. I'll do it quite slowly, and so we're going to be playing that pattern, T12321, following that chord sequence on the screen there. I hope you can see it. I'll just make it a little bit bigger actually, just in case any of you are looking at this on a, oops, a bit too big. Some of you might be using your phone. There we go. Yeah, so you play that pattern for A minor, and you straight away change to the C chord, then a D chord, and then repeat, and then work your way down the sequence. So we'll just do the first line first of all, just to get things going. So just the first line, we'll repeat the first line as well. So just on the pattern, after 3, 1, 2, 3, A minor, now C, D, F, A minor, D, F, and just finish on the A minor. Now if you haven't done this before and that was a little bit tricky, one of the problems might be that you've got to get that first finger down onto the G string, in most cases, not the C chord, but in the other three, pretty promptly, because you're going to start plucking it. When you're strumming, you can, it doesn't matter if the odd string's not held down properly. So you do need to get that first, the finger that's on the G string down, which is the second fret in each case in this song. Get that down on the string before you even think about the others, if you can. Let's do it again, a little bit slower this time. So we're just going to do that top line again after 3. 1, 2, 3. Now C chord, D, and F. A minor again, get that finger down. Actually, it's already there. C, D, and F. Do that one more time. D, F. Finish on the A minor. For those of you that are finding that quite easy, because you've perhaps done that before, then try something harder. For example, memorize it. So memorize those chords so that you're not looking at the screen. Or if you know your bar chords, play it in a different position. That's another way of challenging yourself. If you don't want challenging, you just want to warm up, then just continue playing what we're playing. So, okay, we're going to do the whole lot now. So we're going to do that second line, A minor, C, E7, E7. And then the last line is slightly different again. So that's what we're going to just play for. And we'll do it quite slowly because we are only just warming ourselves up. We're not performing to lots of people. So here we go. We're going to play all the way through those 16 chords. Well, at least twice, I'll say. Here we go. After 3, and it won't be too fast. 1, 2, 3. Now the D and the F. Second line now. E7. Third line. D. F. Last line. Now E7. E7 again. We're back to the top. A minor. Here we go. C. Second line. E7. Third line. E7. Oh, sorry, F. Oops. Last line. E7. E7 for the last time. And then finish on a little strum of A minor. Okay, they are the chords to the verse of, well, at least the first part of House of the Rising Sun, the old song. So if you wanted to dig that out and have a work on that, then that'd be a good idea. We'll finish off, because we're nearly up to time, we'll finish off with a little bit of strumming. And what we'll do, as we've got those chords on the screen, we'll just strum through those chords. And tell you what, we'll do it in a 6/8 style-y. So now that, I haven't written it on the screen, but I'm not sure if the technology will allow me. Just 1 sec, I might be able to. There was an option to, no, can't find the button at the moment. Oh, there we go, annotate. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to, if it will let me, type the, so it's going to be down, oh, that's not very bright, is it? Down, down, up, down, up, down. Let me just work this out. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Yeah. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the pattern there of the strumming for this sort of it's a 6, well, it's actually 12 beats on the screen, but it's 6 in terms of fitting in with this particular picking pattern. So give it a go anyway. Essentially, it's just going 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and change chord. So I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of a strum through these chords. So after 3, just follow me if you're not sure. 1, 2, 3. Down, down, up, down, down, down. C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. That E7 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, A minor. D. Last line. E7. Let's do that last one again, all the way through it from the top. 1, 2, 3, A minor. Now C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. F. E7. A minor, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 6. E7. We're on the last line now. E7. We'll finish on the A minor. 4, 5, 6, 1. Yes. Sorry I didn't give you much of a head start on that particular strumming pattern. It just occurred to me we're just about up for time. But so that's a 6-beat strumming pattern which would fit with that particular picking pattern. And I will include it on the little sheet when I send it around. Okay, I think that's it for today. We've had a little warm up there for half an hour, and I hope that's warmed you up. What more can I say? And that you've enjoyed it as well. So I'll just get that off the screen. And of course we'll be back. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So I hope you can come along, and we'll do some more picking and strumming and other stuff. So if you'd like to unmute yourself and say goodbye to everyone, we've reached over 60 people out there. Wow.
Oh,
that's great.
Thanks a lot, Dave. That's been great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
See some of you at the rock band play along.
Yeah. That's what I'll do.
And if you haven't got any information on that, let me know.
Dave, you must have a minute. Ukulele if you can reach the 9th.